Hey everyone, welcome back for another beginner watercolor tutorial. Let's get started. Today we are adding an object into our painting. We are going to be adding a boat, and this is going to be similar to a silhouette. We are going to add a little bit more detail to it today. So right now I want you to download that line drawing of the boat that I have available for you. Transfer that onto your watercolor paper before we do any painting. So now I'm going to go back to my size 12 round brush, and I am going to load up with some water, and I am going to fill in our entire page. Still had a little bit of paint on my brush from the painting I did earlier, but it's okay. With this painting, it's not going to matter if my water is just a little bit muddied, but I don't recommend that. All right, I'm going to go into my teal blue paint. I'm going to get a really dark mixture. I'm going to tap off any excess on my paper towel, so just letting that bleed in. And I'm going to start circling around my boat. And it's already thinned out quite a bit, so I'm going to grab more of that darker paint. And I'm going to do those circular motions as if I'm slowly getting closer to my boat. We are going to try to avoid our boat as much as possible. We don't really want it to be super blue because we are going to be adding some detail. So right now I'm just going to kind of skirt around it with the same large brush. But if you want, you can switch to your smaller round brush. You don't have to stay with the same brush. And I'm going to go back, I'm going to smooth out my painting by just continuing that circular motion. I'm going to get more of that dark paint and just add it to those edges. We don't want it to look like we're in a whirlpool, but I just want to have some movement. I don't want it to be a flat surface, and I want it to seem like it's a little bit darker farther out. And then we have the reflection of the boat just kind of around. So just add a few circular motions right there, just like that. And then while we let this kind of dry, so you want it to not be sopping wet when you do this technique, this next part, I'm going to just do some quick little droplets where we're just going to splash in some water, and it's going to kind of create just some rippling effects in the water. That's just going to have a real natural feel, and it's just, we're not going to be able to control this, but it's going to really give us a unique painting. So yours is going to look different than mine just because of the nature of watercolor. But I have clean water on my brush, and I'm just going to take the tip of my brush and tap it in. And the more water you have on your brush, the bigger of the circle you are going to get. So I want bigger circles, I think farther out, and you can layer it where you got like 2. And this is just going to give a fun little effect to our painting. It's just going to help it not feel so flat. And again, it's just a fun technique to play with and to learn a bit. But now we're going to let this completely dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add more detail to our boat. All right, so now we're going to add some color to our boat. We are going to mix up a brown. So we are going to be using our burnt sienna, and we're going to be using a little bit of black as well. So burnt sienna and black. You can also use blue if you want. So we're going to start with a light wash of this. We're not going to go too dark too fast. And our painting is completely dry. And we're just going to go straight into our boat. And we're just going to do a nice even flat wash of this brown over the entire boat that we have drawn in. I'm going back for a little bit more paint. Again, it's okay that some of that blue seeped into the boat. And I'm just smoothing that out. And then while that starts to dry, I'm going to mix up a darker brown, those same two colors. And now we're just going to go in and kind of create a second outline. So I'm going to not go straight to the edge. I'm going to kind of just paint right next to that edge. So pretty close, and then just connecting it. Go a little bit farther over that side, and then we are going to paint in the back section, like a little rectangle. Rectangle. And then we're also going to do that right here. Just kind of maneuver it as you go, just leaving some of that lighter space. And we're also going to add some darker space right here in the center, just creating, again, little rectangles that just kind of curve with the boat. And then we're going to do one more right up here, just to give that feel of different sections to the boat. And I want them to be pretty thin. Just like that. And then I'm going to add a little bit darker paint. Just kind of dropping it in those wet rectangles. So you kind of see the different colors coming through. And different shadows. I'm just going to kind of quickly skirt around the side here and in the back. And then while we let that dry, I'm going to go back into my blue paint, and with quick motions I'm going to create some quick curvy lines. Do the same thing around these little marks we made with our water, just to give the appearance of the water moving. And now that it's all dried, we are going to go in with our white gel pen, which we have not used before. And we're just going to add some little final details onto our boat. I'm going to outline the very edge of our boat. And then we're going to out inside of it, the tip. Just kind of add some highlight marks. Just another easy way to get some depth in there. Add a couple quick lines here. All right, and then, like I do with all of my paintings, again, you don't have to do this. Just gonna do some little blue splatter marks into our water. And there you have the final painting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you back in my next video. Bye.